Imagine this: the greatest empire the world had ever seen, ruling millions across three continents, falls apart in chaos. But here's the twist: it didn't collapse overnight. And what if I told you that greed, betrayal, and even climate change played a bigger role than you've been taught? Let's unravel the truth. The Roman Empire was the ultimate superpower of its time. Its armies were unbeatable, its cities were marvels of architecture, and its culture shaped the world we know today. But by the 5th century, it was on its knees. You've heard the stories about barbarian invasions and weak emperors, but that's just the surface. Today, we're going deeper. We'll explore the hidden causes, the pivotal moments, and the key players behind Rome's fall. By the end, you'll see the end of Rome like never before. How does an empire so massive, so powerful, so advanced crumble into pieces? Historians have debated this for centuries. Was it the relentless barbarian attacks, the corruption within, or something much bigger, like the empire being too large to manage? Maybe it was a perfect storm of all these factors, and to truly understand what happened, we need to go back to the beginning of the end. First, internal decay, the empire's cracks. By the late 3rd century, the Roman Empire was already showing signs of trouble. Political instability was one of its biggest problems. Between 235 and 284 AD, Rome had over 20 emperors, many of whom were assassinated. Imagine trying to run a business when your CEO changes every few months. That's what Rome was dealing with, but on a massive scale. Then there was the economy. Rome's wealth depended on constant expansion, new lands, new resources, and new taxes. But by the 4th century, they had hit a wall. There were no more easy conquests. Without fresh income, taxes on citizens increased, causing widespread resentment. Farmers abandoned their lands, trade slowed, and the once thriving economy started to falter. Second, barbarian pressure, the unstoppable force. While Rome struggled internally, a new threat loomed at its borders. The so-called barbarians, the Visigoths, Vandals, Huns, and others, were pushing in. But calling them barbarians is misleading. Many of these groups had traded with Rome for centuries. Some even served in the Roman army. So why did they turn against the empire? One major reason was the Huns. This nomadic group from Central Asia was ferocious. When they began attacking Germanic tribes like the Visigoths, these tribes fled into Roman territory seeking safety. Instead of helping, Rome exploited them, treating them harshly and demanding high taxes. Angry and desperate, the Visigoths rebelled, defeating the Roman army at the Battle of Adrianople in 378 AD, a battle that shook the empire to its core. 3. The splitting of the empire. In 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian made a bold decision. He divided the empire into two parts, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. On paper, this seemed like a smart move. Two emperors could manage the massive territory more effectively. But in reality, it created competition and division. The Eastern Empire, based in Constantinople, thrived. It had stronger defenses, better trade routes, and more resources. The Western Empire, however, struggled. It was poorer, less defended, and constantly under attack. This division made it easier for enemies to target the weaker West. 4. Climate and disease. Nature strikes back. While political and military issues dominated, nature also played a cruel role in Rome's downfall. Around 536 AD, a mysterious climate event, possibly a massive volcanic eruption, caused temperatures to drop. Crops failed, leading to famine across the empire. Add to that the outbreaks of diseases like the plague of Cyprian, which killed millions, and you have a population too weak to fight or rebuild. The final blow, the sack of Rome. The moment everyone remembers is the sack of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 AD. For centuries, Rome had been the symbol of power and stability. The idea that an army could march in and loot the city was unthinkable. But by 410, Rome was vulnerable. Its armies were stretched too thin, its defenses weak, and its leadership indecisive. When the Visigoth king Alaric entered Rome, it wasn't just a military defeat, it was a psychological one. The eternal city had fallen, and with it, the belief in Rome's invincibility. The final nail in the coffin came in 476 AD, when the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic king Odoacer. This marked the official end of the Western Roman Empire. But here's the thing. Many people didn't even notice. By then, Rome was a shadow of its former self. The cities were emptying, the economy was in shambles, and the once great empire was just a collection of fragmented territories. Want to uncover more untold stories like this? Hit subscribe or check out our next video now.